Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. Okay, the Hafetz Haim continues. This is in his Haggah, which is his edits based on what we read before. So this is usually when he gets a little bit less formal and likes to speak his mind. And I'm not going to read all of it. I'm going to read most of it, but not the beginning part. He says as following: "V'yodeh ani, I know, ki yuchal liot she'imatzu anashim sheretzonam u'tshukatam liten dofi bechavrehem." There are many people who have a will to slander others. V'hirgilu et atzmam ba'avon hamar hazeh, and have accustomed themselves to this, ad asher lo yo'il lahem shum davar la'ashiva midarkam hara, to the point that nothing is going to help them. Nothing is going to deter them from their evil ways. They're going to find a leniency in this book. They're not even going to pay attention to the conditions of that leniency. And they're going to start permitting things that I never had, that I didn't enter my mind to permit. And they will not have any reservations about saying what they want to say. Because they're going to justify with what I said over here. And he will give leniencies at certain times where it would be allowed to say things. So basically he's considering that maybe I should not write this book. If people are going to come up with ways out to say what they want, maybe it's better I don't write. I felt, I'm not going to withhold this Sefer from upstanding individuals just because there are those who will abuse the leniencies. Like the Chachamim say in Gemara Ba'abatra, over there it was Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had a dilemma whether or not to publicize various fraudulent measures to merchants, what they must avoid, because some people might learn new methods of cheating. In the end, he stated, so meaning, teach for the righteous people. I'm also well aware that there's going to be people who want to downplay the importance of this. And they're going to say, Mutav shiyu shogegin v'al mezidin. Right? The very famous line in the Gemara, where better people transgress unintentionally than transgress deliberately. Okay? So maybe it's best not to inform somebody that something is not allowed, because if he's unaware of what is not allowed and he does it, the punishment is less severe. So based on this principle of the Gemara, maybe it's better to remain ignorant about the laws of Lashon Hara. Okay? So then when they speak Lashon Hara, they're not going to be punished so bad. But I still feel I should teach this and people should know about it. Because first of all, we don't say this principle that better that you don't know rather than know when it comes to a mitzvah in the Torah. That doesn't apply. Okay? That's number one. It's found in the Orach Haim. Sorry? I said this is the halacha by your Torah. Okay, so when it comes to the Rabbanan, that's when in those situations, maybe best not to think, maybe slowly teach him, but not bring it all. But when it comes to a mitzvah from the Torah, it says Lashon Hara rechilut davar meforash b'Torah. This is an actual mitzvah written very explicitly in the Torah. Ve'od, and also, im ken lo nenamed l'rabim halachot gezel. If that's the case, we shouldn't teach people the laws of theft, because there are so many people that steal every single day. They overcharge. There's a lot of onat mamon going on. We spoke at length in our Mesilat Yesharim class about it. The Gemara Ba'abatra says one of the hardest mitzvot to keep. People are overcharging and stealing all the time. So what are we going to do? Not teach them the laws? Because better that they remain ignorant than teach them? We can't think that way. Amru sham shekulam nichshalin. Even though the Gemara says that everybody stumbles in the prohibition of Lashon Hara. Halo lo amru rak be'avak. Did the Gemara there not add that this statement is only about the dust of Lashon Hara, not actual Lashon Hara? So over there, the Gemara says that everybody stumbles in this Avera, but it's the Avak Lashon Hara. It's called the dust, which is not actual specific statements. We're going to learn exactly what Avak Lashon Hara is. But you could actually refrain from Lashon Hara speaking. So you will benefit from studying these topics by that at least save you from violating the actual Avera. And it could even save you from engaging in avak lashon hara, the dust. As long as you put your heart to it and your mind to it. Also, okay, maybe we shouldn't teach the laws of Shabbat, he says. We're back to that same thing about that principle. Keep people unintentionally transgressing versus teaching them and the law. So should every rabbi not teach the laws of Hilchot Shabbat now? Because this way people don't know. No, you can't say that. And the laws of Shabbat, shehem kahararim ateluhim b'sa'ara, they are compared to mountains suspended by hair, meaning there's like very little scriptural support in the Chumash. The Chumash has very little to say about the laws of Shabbat. It says, lo ta'aseh melacha b'yom HaShabbat, don't do work. And then it says, lo tadiku or b'moshavotechem b'yom HaShabbat, don't light. That's all it says. And yet we know how many books, Yichot Shabbat, how many Simanim and Shulchan Aruch, right? And the Torah gives us just a few sentences of what you can't do. And there's so many laws that are difficult. Also, why did our rabbis in Gemara Arachin delineate the principles of these mitzvot? For example, they said over there, what is considered Lashon Hara? Nura Bei Planya is saying there is a flame to be in such and so's house. If someone comes up to you and says, where can I bake, right, something, okay, I need a place to bake, and someone says, so-and-so's house always has their fire on. So-and-so's house always has their fire on, because people living there like to eat a lot. It implies that people there like to eat and they're constantly cooking. That is a small inkling of Lashon Hara. So we see that it is proper to teach it. We can also bring proof from the Torah itself. We have a commandment, it's actually one of our mitzvot, and one of the remembrances that we are supposed to remember every day, is that we have to remember what Hashem did to Miriam. We have to actually say this every day. So that we will contemplate the severity of the bitter of Lashon Hara. So according to what those people, again, that rule, maybe we shouldn't remember what Miriam did. Let's not talk about what Miriam did. And this way, we won't remind ourselves of Lashon Hara. And we'll remain unintentional. Absolutely not, he said. It's clear that the Torah discerned the depths of man's nature and determined that it's within one's ability to avoid this transgression. If this were not so, Hashem would not have commanded us to avoid speaking Lashon Hara, because Hashem doesn't seek excuses to deal harshly with his creations. And therefore, if a person contemplates his subject, he will benefit greatly to spare him from violating the transgression. Another benefit, at least you're not going to consider all this subject with total disregard. And if someone occasionally studies into this, and then at least he's not going to be put into the category of Ba'alei Lashon Hara. Like a person who his whole life he's an habitual Lashon Hara speaker. That the Chachamim and the Gemara compare this guy who's an habitual Lashon Hara speaker to a person who commits the 3 cardinal sins of Avodah Zarah, Gilui Arayot, and Shefichut Damim, which of course were the cause of the destruction. The Kayotzei Monashina Hamurin, and they're subject to other punishments. Gam al yedei zeh, and one more thing, Yeda benafsho shechata lifnei Hashem. One who spoke Lashon Hara, if he studies this book, at least he knows he sinned in front of Hashem. And that has value, because a sinner is held accountable not only for sinning, but also if he denies that he sinned. Ukmo she'amar hakatuv, hineni nishpat otach al omrech lo chatati. Pasuk says in Yirmiyahu, behold, I'm judging for you when you say I did not sin. Ve'yireh lefayes et chavero avur zeh. And more, he will make a point of appeasing that person, or lefachot shelo yidaber elav od hapam, or maybe at least not speak about him again. But this will not happen if he takes his book and totally ignores it or throws it behind his back and doesn't even consider a sin at all. And that concludes the first part of the Hakdama. And now, Bezat Hashem, tomorrow we'll look at the Peticha.